This has been a long overwaited event that all of us here at Bell Works and Somerset Development and Colliers and all of the partners that are here, we've been waiting a long time for this, and we're very excited about it. And my name is Jeff Garibaldi. I'm with the Garibaldi Group in New Jersey, and I've been involved. I had the fortunate experience of meeting Ralph around 8 years ago. And we are a corporate real estate brokerage firm, consulting firm. We do a lot of landlord rep work, and we were charged with or given the responsibility and the opportunity to market Bell Works in New Jersey, Bell Works Homedale, which is this spectacular 2 million square foot complex, very similar to this, that Ralph has devoted his life and passion for the past 8 years to create. And it's an overwhelming success, and that's what led then to Chicagoland. So on behalf of Garibaldi, on behalf of Colliers, but particularly on behalf of Ralph Zucker and Somerset Development, we welcome you here. We've got some very distinguished guests, which I'd like to introduce and have you come up and just say a couple words. And that first one would be the Honorable Bill McLeod, Mayor of the Hoffman Estates. If you'd kindly come up to the podium.
It's a pleasure to be here. This is a very exciting day for the village of Hoffman Estates to see this beautiful building being redeveloped. I was on the board when AT&T Ameritech first came in. It was a beautiful building then. It's an even more beautiful building now. We appreciate all the work that Somerset has put into this division. Trustee Gary Stanton and I, we had the opportunity to go out to Bell Works in New Jersey. And we were just stunned at how amazing it was, because I had seen videos of it, but it's something else to experience in person. And we're looking forward to the Metroburb concept coming to fruition with some housing around here and all sorts of offices, entertainment, restaurants, etc., right inside the building here. I have to introduce our village people. We've got Trustee Gary Palafis, Trustee Gary Stanton, Trustee Karen Mills, Trustee Michael Gaeta, and our village clerk, Bev Romanoff. Everyone on the village team worked very hard, including Eric Palm, our new manager, and Jim Norris, our former manager, and all the village staff people. So we couldn't be happier than to see this happening. Because one of the questions people always had was, what are you going to do with the old AT&T building? Well, you're seeing what's being done with it, and it's beautiful. I do want to give something to Ralph, though. You want to come up for a minute, Ralph? It's my pleasure to present to you the key to the village of Hoffman Estates. Wow. And we're looking forward. Yeah. Looking forward for many years of partnership working together. Thanks, Ralph.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm overwhelmed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor, and thank you all for the support you and your colleagues have provided here. We're here today to celebrate the ribbon cutting and the opening of the Chicagoland Collab. And it's a dynamic, very incredibly inspiring workspace environment that we created here. And that's going to kind of kick off and ignite what is going to be, what's already been a very well-received building in the marketplace. So we're very excited about it. And I think I'm going to introduce you today, and I'll let Sean tell you about what he just was able to secure this morning. But without further ado, Sean Donahue, Managing Director of the Collab. Sean also runs about a 30,000 square foot collab, very successful in New Jersey, and we're just building up upon that momentum. And so without further ado, Sean Donahue, Managing Director of the Collab.
Thanks, Jeff. Be bold. Those were words that Ralph Zucker said to us several years ago when we were actually walking through this building. And that stuck out to me because I always thought that we were bold when we were in Jersey and we were developing the Metroburb, building the first collab. And what happened for us was maybe something right time, right place, where we were in the process of designing this space and understanding and listening to our tenants in New Jersey. We were trying to figure out and really trying to understand exactly what they were going to be looking for. Lowering the bar to make office space achievable for just about anybody, whether it was for one day or for 12 months or multi-years. And as we were designing our space here, 2020 happened. We didn't hesitate. The Zoom meetings began, the FaceTimes began, understanding what are people going to need for the office space of tomorrow. And what you see around here today is the vision becoming reality. You're seeing office space, lowering the bar, and being able to walk into the building, just like we had somebody this morning. I know Jeff was just speaking to that. We actually had somebody who just signed up today, and it took all of 5 minutes to get them set up, and in 5 minutes, they are now a tenant of CoLab. It is that simple. But it's not just about simplicity. It's about creating an experience that is head above our competition. What we want to do is create an experience that's going to not just bring people in easily, but keep them here for many, many years. What you see here is not just the work of one person, but our entire team, from our design team, NPZ, to our architects, our engineers, to our leasing teams, Colliers, to the Garibaldi's help and support, through all of our partners and our vendors. This has been a tireless effort to make this place a reality, and now you are all standing here today, and we can actually say that the vision is here, and we're here to be bold. We're here to make things happen, and to Jeff's point, we're here to light the spark to make the Metroburg come alive. Thank you.
Fruition of Ralph Zucker and Somerset Development's dream, and the great encouragement and hope it gives to the village of Hoffman Estates for a very prosperous and exciting future.
Here, here. Thank you.
I want to introduce the big man here, Mr. Ralph Zucker, president of Somerset Development, and I'm trying to figure the right way to kind of introduce him to you, that those that may have never met him before. We have a planter at Bell Works and a really beautiful tree that was planted there, and there's a plaque that we all collectively put together for Ralph. It was kind of a surprise. You didn't know exactly what it was we were talking here. And the plaque, I just want to read it because I think it probably best describes Ralph Zucker. And it's by a very famous scientist and visionary in his own right. And the quote goes like this: "Only those who attempt the absurd can achieve the impossible." And I don't think there's any better way of saying it than that. And that was by Albert Einstein, by the way. So he's a good company with Ralph Zucker, I think. But in any event, without further ado, Ralph Zucker.
Thank you, Jeff. I've been called a lot of things. I've never been called the big man. As I lower the mic. Thank you, Paola. Thank you, Sean, for all your kind words. Mayor, thank you so much for the keys. I remember, where's David? He's somewhere in here. Many years ago, it was pretty much just David and myself in the trenches, almost 30 years ago. And I said, I want to be the guy that when we leave a project, instead of people saying how poorly we did, the mayor hands us the key to the city. So it took 30 years, but here we are. And I do appreciate all the personal accolades, but really it's not about me, and it's not really about my vision. It's about all of you. It's a cliche, but it takes a village of Hoffman Estates, under the fearless leadership of Mayor McLeod, the trustees, and all of you. If I sit here and say names, I have about 100 names to thank, so I'm going to try not to say too many names, but I do mean each and every one of you. You know, Mayor and the village, without the guts to go ahead. And by the way, we did not find this building. The building found us. Mayor and his team reached out to us and said, we have a building just like Bell Works in Hoffman Estates. And I said, where is Hoffman Estates? And now Hoffman Estates and Bell Works are on the map. Because you had the guts to go ahead, and there are so many places just like this all across the United States, all across the world. And we're reached out by developers and communities, but without a community to stand behind it, there's nothing we can do. So we really appreciate all of you really having the guts that it takes to make this happen. It also takes an amazing, dedicated team. I'm blessed being surrounded by great people, people who are willing to go ahead, and you heard Jeff read off that quote, but that quote on its own is nothing without a band of warriors, not worriers, but warriors that are ready to go ahead and really go to battle, to go ahead and stand and believe in the vision and say, yes, we're going to go ahead and make this dream happen. When we started Bell Works New Jersey many years ago, it was tougher to share the vision and get people on board. When we came here to Bell Works Chicagoland, it was easier, but it still takes a great team of people. So to all my team at Somerset Development, at Bell Works, led by David in construction, led by people around here, Pat Garofalo is back there, Jacob Cohn, who put his life on hold to come here and work, my partners who believed in the vision and are willing to write the big checks. Yoni Cohn is Yoni Adler is in the back over there taking pictures, but without the financial backing to make this happen, none of this would happen. To the brokers who are willing to go ahead and travel or take on this challenge. I remember when we started in Bell Works, New Jersey, we couldn't get any brokers, and Jeff Garibaldi we picked you, Jeff, because you were the only guy willing to take the job. And your good looks. But it just takes so many people. I remember a time in back in 2000, end of 2014, beginning of 2015. And I may have the dates a little bit off, but we were struggling to get Bell Works going, and a young man named Sean Donahue walked in, sat down on a couch, and started what you see here today, which is CoLab. We didn't know to call it CoLab at the time, and we didn't know what it would evolve into. But really, the power of an idea is what you're seeing here today, and the power of somebody believing in that idea. A young lady, Paula Zamudia, walked in at the same time, and I showed her an empty building, and I said, can you make this happen? And she said, yes, where do I start? And the power of an idea, and here we are today. As I said, Jeff Garibaldi and his team. Steve Kling, who went ahead and had the guts to go ahead and join us. And if I keep mentioning names, I'm going to forget somebody, so I'm really going to stop. But I really mean from the bottom of my heart, each and every one of you that went ahead and put their life on hold. Ken Gold, who went ahead and was side by side with me from the first moment when we saw it. Well, actually, we weren't here when I saw the building the first time. But the power of belief in ideas is what it's all about. And really, that's what it takes. It takes a village, it takes a community, it takes dedicated people to put their lives at risk. It takes people who are willing to move in to a vacant building, and I'm looking at some of our first tenants, and say, yeah, this is a great idea, and we're going to sign on. And I'm glad to say, without saying any names, that we have quite a few potential tenants in the audience as well. So we're beginning to get traction for what is going to be an amazing place. So once I've said all that, and I've dispensed with the thank yous, let's talk about the power of an idea. And the idea is very simple. The idea is belief in people and in common sense. I remember a moment, not so long ago, the pandemic had hit, and we did not know. We were at a go or no-go moment. We could have continued, or we could have paused, or we could have stopped. And we had those tough conversations that partners and bankers and developers have to take from time to time. And we said, do we continue, or do we pause, or do we give up and go home? And the conversation was, nothing, not even a pandemic, is going to stop people from coming together. The power of Bell Works, the power of the Metroburb, is the power of people coming together. We are all dependent on each other. We all believe in each other. And because we need to come together, because of the power of that simple common sense idea, that is the success of Bell Works. That is what makes a Metroburb tick, and that is why we're all here today. So thank you all so very, very much for everything that you do, for being here. It's humbling to stand here. And again, I apologize. I can't mention all the names, and I mean sincerely from the bottom of my heart, each and every one of you, those who are here and those who aren't even here. Without all of you, this wouldn't be here. And without the belief in this simple idea of common sense, of people coming together, of people wanting to live their lives, even in suburbia, people want to have the ability to have an urban cool, an urban vibe, urban comfort, urban convenience. They want to be able to see their neighbor, to talk to somebody, to have those serendipitous encounters that bring us all together, to be inspired from each other. Our whole motto is work inspired, stay inspired, be inspired. We get inspired by each other and from each and every one of you. So thank you all for your hard work, for your dedication, your belief in a very, very simple idea, but bold, as we heard here today. Thank you for coming together to make Bell Works, the Metroburb, and today, CoLab happening. Welcome, and we're off to the races. Thank you very much.